So I'll start this with a reading. Liberation is a Process by Emily M. Towns. Liberation and freedom are not the same. Liberation is a process. Freedom is a temporary state of being. It is more of an event we point toward, work for, and hope for. It is the hope of freedom that drives liberation. Liberation is a product of freedom. Liberation is a process of struggle with ourselves and with each other that begets the transformation of all of us to our full humanity. Through liberation, freedom may be made manifest, but that freedom is not a permanent state of being. When we are made whole, we are asked to give of that wholeness. Liberation is dynamic. It never ends. So I came up with this idea of describing that I think a free spirit is a necessary thing to want, to cultivate, to point toward at this time in history. I think we are living through a very difficult time, and it can generate a lot of fear. It can generate a lot of despair. And so these are my meanderings on what that means. And you can take from it what you will, okay? We're Unitarians here. This isn't it's not a prescription, but it's totally a prescription. Okay. So, the first idea is maybe the definition of a free spirit that maybe a lot of us already think of when we think of what a free spirit is. And a friend of mine, Janice, gave me this reading, which I like to kind of start us thinking about this. It's from Randy Elrod, and with a quote from Jean-Claude Sartre, who says, "Freedom is what you do with what's been done to you." Whew, okay. So, characteristics of a free spirit. If we think of a free spirit as like that kind of a person, a definition of a person. Free spirits are stifled by rules and traditional paths. They prefer to live unconventionally with an aversion of being boxed in or tied down. Free spirits enjoy trying new things and thrive when they feel safe to be uninhibited. They hate to be bored and crave lots of different experiences. Free spirits pay attention to their inner guide rather than the outside world, trusting wherever it may take them. Free spirits are often misunderstood. Wanderlust is interpreted as immaturity or lack of focus or discipline. Free spirits appreciate and desire intimate companionship with other free spirits. Free spirits don't particularly care about what others think of them. They march to the beat of their own drum. Free spirits are extremely independent. Free spirits are naturally open people. They are interested in learning or trying new things, which make them more open to people, ideas, perspectives, and breaking taboos. Free spirits are often highly sensitive and empathetic. Free spirits are courageous. Fear is not a big factor for the free spirits of the world. Many free spirits have a childlike demeanor and a playfulness that can be endearing. Free spirits are hopeless romantics and be full of contradictions and might prefer many companions. Free spirits are often strong leaders as they enjoy the freedom that comes from unique career paths and life pursuits. Free spirits have a non-judgmental attitude that's very accepting of others' ways of being. Free spirits live for adventure. Paradoxically, they find stability in it. They value experiences over objects. And a free spirit's nature drives them to continuously grow. They are insatiably curious. And I like those definitions. Obviously, I see that there's a utility in not necessarily always following the rules or caring what other people think of you or following in line. but I don't think that we have to stop there at that definition. I mean, that might be what resonates with a lot of people. So that's, okay, we can think about follow our free spirits, maybe they will take us somewhere. But what about the idea of freeing your own spirit as an action? What are the things that you can do that make your spirit, your aliveness, your essence sort of come forth? And you know, yeah, I hang in some Buddhist circles sometimes, is the connection between your mind and your heart a way that helps your spirit flow more easily. So I have a little exercise for everybody. I'm going to say a word, and you tell me, you can put your hand where you think that word arises from you. So, fear. Where do you feel fear? I feel fear here, but there's no wrong answer. You could be like, everywhere. Where does hope come from? Still here, right? Still in our chest. Drive, ambition. Sometimes I feel like my drive comes from here. Purpose. Oof. Sometimes here, sometimes here. Authenticity. Ankles. Grit. Ooh, I think my grit comes from my jaw. Arms. Concern. Compassion. Grace. Forgiveness. I don't know, sometimes mine's here, sometimes it's here. Freedom. Where do you feel it? Everywhere. I think here, sometimes here. So if we do things that help connect us with like the parts of us that we feel are true, can we develop our intuition, our knowledge and our purpose, our heart and our authenticity? And to me, that is the act of freeing a spirit, you know. And we can think about what actions you do that make you feel your spirit more free. Is it singing? Is it painting? Is it laughing with people and just celebrating being together? Is it having some amazing food? Is it walking in nature? I think and that is different for everybody of what things make you feel more yourself. And that to me is also this action that we have to do to tend to ourselves to build this courage. Because I feel like if your hope and your fear both reside in your chest, maybe the hope can push out the fear if we can free the spirit. And you know, I feel like I've had times in my life where I was more fearful and more closed, and my spirit was a little tighter held because I was afraid of what might happen, or I couldn't see my way out of the fears that I would drive in my head. And so other actions, it doesn't necessarily sound like it makes sense that if you just, you know, skip and dance and sing some songs, that it may translate to some other action that could be purposeful. So I have a third way to think about a free spirit. So we talked about the definition that maybe, you know, you kind of think of it as that person, you know, the manic pixie girl or whatever. Or there's the act of freeing your spirit. And what about a free spirit is the free thing that you get to be alive. It was given to you freely. It cost nothing to have the life essence that you have. And so can we not treat that as a precious, beautiful free thing. And that's something that you always have. You have your aliveness, you have your essence. You are a living being here on this magnificent planet. And nobody can take the gratitude you have for that life while you are alive. And it's free. It is free. Cost of living is a different thing, right? Rent can be high, but we're all alive. We have humanity. We have our spirits. So the value is incalculable. And if you tend to yourself, can you give gratitude for the small moments of recognizing I am alive, I have myself, I am here. Nobody can take me away from me. And I think that's another freedom, to feel that gratitude for your essence, for who you are. So how is being a free spirit or freeing your spirit helpful at this time? You know, I think about bravery and courage and action, all of these things we have to, if you have to act or even envision a better future than the current day, there has to be some kind of hope. There has to be some sort of like a guidepost of like, I'm aiming for this thing. And I feel like to have courage and purpose means you have to have some levity, some like, I appreciate being alive and I want to be alive in a better place than that the world that I want to grow into has a sacredness for other human beings, has a cooperative relationship and a sustainable relationship with the earth that we are a part of. If I cultivate my spirit, I have a creativity to envision that world and to share that world and to build that world. If I'm closed and I'm fearful and I'm saying, not that, I'm scared, I'm not, then I can't build that other future. I can't work toward my authenticity and my goal of of building a community and space and world that is better, because it's a better version of whatever we've got right now. So if I recognize my spirit is freely given, it's my humanity, and I respect the humanity of others, maybe that can build a tolerance for other people that can build community. And so there have been some interesting readings that I've heard about. It's sort of like living in a time of authoritarianism that builds scapegoats, right? Where people get othered, get closed off from others. They try to convince you that the world is one way and you are this way and someone else is a different way. So, and that right now, the idea that immigration and trans rights are sort of aligned in an authoritarian perspective to practice absolutism. That the dominant paradigm in absolutism is that there are only two ways to be in this country. You're legal or you are illegal. And so if you think of people as being illegal, you think of them as criminals, and therefore you can justify in your mind the mistreatment of other precious, beautiful human beings who have lost rights. And there are two genders, no switching, boo on you, right? That is an absolutist perspective, and it does not share any even realistic or even scientific viewpoint on the complexities of what it means to be a human being. And so those ideas are meant to separate us, to allow other people to have their rights stripped. But how do I bring spirituality into this? I start to imagine, well, okay, every human being is sacred, so whether or not you are legal or illegal does not mean that you do not deserve rights. Fair treatment, fair trial, habeas corpus, those are fundamental, like we should value human life. And even the absolutism in the argument for pro-life. It's not treating gestation and pregnancy as a complicated symbiotic relationship that cannot be distilled into one being versus the other in a conflict. It is a symbiotic relationship until a child is born. And it's a complicated situation. I don't think it's reducible to one thing is alive and therefore the other thing should be kept alive as an incubator, or, some other sad ways in which women are being treated. And so also the personal can be the political, that a spiritual practice might lead toward liberation. So an example of this is even the life of Tina Turner, when she described finding Buddhism and her meditation as something that allowed her to eventually leave a abusive relationship. That she had to find her own sacredness to find the courage to leave that. And if we are trying to imagine a collective world that's better than the one we're in, maybe we all need a heartfelt spiritual practice that builds towards liberation for more. And even, I want to challenge you to even consider who is the most free among us, whose spirits are free. And I'm going to argue that if we don't even just have to look at trans rights as something to be protected, they are, but for people to have fought to be their authentic selves in light of a lot of programming, a lot of familial, cultural winds against them. They said, no, this is who I truly am. Those people are truly free to be their authentic selves, and so they are our spiritual leaders. They are precious to be our leaders, instead of just to be protected by, they are both, right? And if we consider what came out of enslaved peoples in the United States, there's a beautiful culture that our country is known for because of the fighting, graceful, spiritual presence of enslaved people that has a historical impact on our country. And we can just talk about music in one way, that gospel and soul and jazz, becoming rock and roll, R&B, hip hop, that it's beautiful. Tragedy and horrendous situations led people to have a new version of themselves, or a group, a ritual that built something beautiful out of something diabolical. What can we build that's beautiful out of the diabolical situation we're in? Because we have to have hope for something. We got to build towards something. So I'll just ask you all to think about your freely given spirit from time to time. Take awe in it. Feel your own presence as a comfort, to know that the Spirit can never be truly taken from you. And that knowledge is one that can sustain us in dark times. And okay, so I'm going to leave you off with, I'm totally here to brag about being a turtle shiro. I have helped 2 turtles cross the road in the past week. And I used to not really be able to do it. I would be fearful. I would see a turtle, and then I would like obsess about that turtle for like miles afterwards. Like, oh, what do you think the turtle made it across the road? I don't know. Oh, I should have stopped, but I didn't stop. And oh my gosh. Oh. And I finally have been like calm enough and be like, I think I can help a turtle. Like, I just open to the universe to say, I could be a turtle helper today. And so I was driving down the road. This was yesterday. I was driving down a rural road, and then I saw a turtle like trying to make its way, and I pulled over and I ran and I helped the turtle across the road, and then I felt good about it. And I think that this is a metaphor. This is a metaphor for our times. It's not just a vanity project on my part. But number one, I believe that I can make a difference. That I could be open to the universe to say, there's a moment in time that maybe I could make a difference. And maybe it's a small act, but I could do it. Number two, that belief system helped me do the act. I believed I could do it, I did it. Did this small little gesture, and I'm not gonna be cynical about it and be like, turtles don't matter, and turtles get hit by cars all the time, and that's fine. I'm like, no, I helped a turtle. That was good. And then the third thing is, it is a spiritual act of mine. It is in alignment with my belief system that I treated another living being on the planet as something sacred and beautiful, and we had a little harmonious moment on the asphalt to get them across. And if we prime ourselves for little actions that could help in any little way, and feel the joy and awe in that, maybe we can get somewhere together. All right. All right. That's all I got, folks.